While it's certainly true that slicers are the most common way that you're going to interact with a report, they're certainly not the only way to interact with the report. So here I am, right now I'm in the tutorial app, I'm in the tutorial report, and in the filters pane page. And as you can see in this page, I've only got one slicer up here for fiscal year, and it's pretty easy for me to use that slicer. I could go look at 2017, go look at 2018, or even look at all 3 years. But you may think, oh, I don't have any other ways that I could sort of slice on this page or filter on this page, and that's not true. If you pop over here all the way to the right, one of the cooler new features they've got for Power BI is this updated filters pane. See where it says filters right there? So if you go ahead and click on this little chevron right there, or caret, right, it'll open it up. In fact, I make it sound like you have to click on it. You can actually you do have to click on it. You can also click on the word here. You just can't click down there, right? Either way it works. Okay, so once you've got this filters pane open, what you'll notice is that there's other things that you could filter on this page that aren't a part of this particular slicer. So for instance, like if I want to look at a specific product category, here I've got a filter for product category. So I could click on that little caret to twirl it open, and I could say, you know what, I just want to look at bikes. That's the most important category to me. Or I could say, you know what, I want to look at clothing. Also, nice thing about this is you've got these nice search bars there, so I could search for cloth, and I can find all the categories that have cloth in it, which includes clothing. So go ahead and click on that, and it's very easy to select stuff. Okay. I will also point out that these cards will be different colors depending on whether or not you've actually got something selected in that particular card. So if you'll notice right now, for product L1 category, I've got clothing selected, right? But for region, I don't have anything selected, which is why this is this slightly darker gray color. If I twirl this guy open and say, you know what, I just want to look at North America, boom, just like that, it turns a darker shade of gray because I've got something selected. And as soon as I unselect North America, I no longer have anything selected, and I'm just looking at all the different regions. So one thing you will notice here in the filters panel is there's this section that says filters on this page, and that's the only section right now. But you will notice if I actually click on an individual visual, like here, sales by country, now because I've got that visual selected, I have other potential visuals on here. So if you'll notice, this particular visual, sales by country, I still have filters on this page, which are all the filters that affect all the visuals on the page. I've also got this section here, which has all the filters just for that particular visual. So right now, I could twirl this guy open and say, you know what, for shipping L2 country, I just want to look at France and Germany, right? And make a filter that only affects that visual. Notice that this visual up here hasn't changed at all, and no matter what I do to click over here, if I add Canada, if I remove Germany, this visual isn't affected because I've got this visual down here selected, and I'm only affecting filters on this visual. Now, of course, if I change any of the filters on this page, both of these visuals will be affected because they're on this page. Also, some report authors will have a little section down here for filters on all pages, and as you would expect, that changes filters across all pages, right? So one of the reasons that we actually have this filters pane is that when you're all done with it, you can just twirl it closed, right? Now that may seem like more of a headache than a benefit, because isn't it easier to just have everything right in front of you? Well, it is if you've only got one or two slicers, but if you can imagine a report where you've got 20 or 30 things that you want to filter on, having the ability to sort of twirl this open and go filter those 20 or 30 things, and then when you're done, twirl it closed and get that screen real estate back, that's a big benefit. That's a big benefit. Okay, so in addition, I would like to point out that some filters in the filters pane are actually going to get locked down by report authors. What do I mean by that? So if I twirl open filters over here, what you will notice is similar to before, I've got some filters on the pages, and this here, I've got a filter for product L1 category equals clothing, but what you'll notice is there's a little lock icon there, right? And if I try and click on this, it won't let me change it. The idea here is there's certain filters that a report author is going to want to put on either a visual or a page, and they're sort of key to that particular page or the entire report. So if you imagine that this is a clothing report, the name of this report is maybe, sales for clothing, well then obviously we want to have a filter for clothing, and we wouldn't want to be able to change it because everything is designed around the idea that we're just looking at clothing. So this is a way for report authors to expose that they've got a filter for something, in this instance clothing, but not let you change it, because if you were to change it, you might fundamentally break the report. If you'll notice this filter down here, there's no lock icon, so I could twirl this open. right? And very easily I can do things like, let's say the year is greater than 2017 and apply filters just like that, right? Now I'm just looking at 2017. Let's set this to 2018. You can see how, nothing greater than 2018. Let's do is greater than or equal to 2018. Boom, and just like that, I've got 2018 stuff for I should say this is the fiscal year that we're looking at here, not the calendar year. Don't get confused on the report. That's it. Super duper easy to work with the filters pane.